Hi everybody, this is Kevin and welcome back to another video. And today I would like to share my thoughts on Ys 6, the Ark of Napishtim, which is another excellent title in the Ys series. But before I get into my actual review, I would just like to explain why I skipped over Ys 3, 4, and 5 after recently playing through Ys 1 and 2. Now the reason for that is because Ys 3, Wanderers from Ys, was remade into Ys the Oath in Falcom. Ys 4, which apparently was two separate games, Mask of the Sun and the Dawn of Ys, was also remade into Ys Memories of Celceta. And finally, Ys 5, Lost Kefin Kingdom of Sam, is, as far as I can tell, the only mainline Ys title that has not been released outside of Japan. So what I've decided to do is play all the games in release order that are readily available to me, meaning the original versions of 3, 4, and 5 are not readily available to me, as the remakes exist, and 5 is only available through fan translations. So I've just decided to play the games on PC, PS4, or PS5. And I wonder what happened in Ys 5, in that Falcom took almost a 10-year hiatus from the Ys series, because you can just look at the release dates. Ys 5 all the way back in 1995, and then Ys 6 in 2003. What happened there that it didn't release outside of Japan, and they took almost a 10-year break before coming back, and then ever since Ys 6, it looks like there's either been an Ys title every year or every other year, be it a mainline title, spin-off, or remake, so that's cool to see. And of course we have the most recent release of Ys 10, in Japan, and then soon to be released in the fall in the US and worldwide. So I can't wait to get to that one in the coming months. But anyway, Ys 6, what an excellent game, man. I absolutely loved it. Like I said, originally released back in 2003 in Japan on the PC, and then in the US, we got it on the PlayStation 2 in 2005, and then another port on the PSP in 2006, and finally a worldwide release on PC in 2015, which is the version I played. I'm not really too sure what the differences are between the PC, PS2, and PSP, but I would imagine the PC version probably has some quality of life improvements. Maybe they polish up the graphics, what have you. Where to really begin? I suppose we'll start with, it's not necessary to play the Ys games in any kind of order, which is why it's fine for me to play Ys 1 and 2 and then skip to Ys 6, because each game has its own self-contained story. Yeah, there's reoccurring phrases, themes, even characters. The main protagonist, Adol Kristen, is, as far as I can tell, the main protagonist in every Ys game. And of course, his best friend, Dogi, I think is in every Ys game. He wasn't in Ys 2 as a cameo at the very end, but he's in Ys 1, he's in Ys 6 again. You know, Dogi's always there. But there is a reoccurring character from Ys 1 who reappears in Ys 6, and he actually mentions that it's been 6 years. So there is some sort of continuity, but at the end of the day, each game has its own self-contained story. In this case, Adol Kristen washes up on the shores of the Canaan Islands, and I guess he not only saves the islands, but he ends up saving the world when it's all said and done. I don't know if that's just a meme that he has amnesia, because, you know, he knows who Dogi is. He knows who the character from Ys 1 is, which I'll just say is Rabba, the old man you find in Darm Tower, which is so cool. I saw Rabba, I'm like, there he is, the old man, what's he doing here? And he recounts that, like, Adol, you saved my life back in Darm Tower. What are you doing on these islands? So I don't think Adol has amnesia, at least not in this game. Maybe in the other games he gets amnesia. But there's just so much charm in Falcom games that I've grown to love while playing the Trails series. You see the beautiful artwork right here of two of the main characters, Isha and Olha, who, they're like human-like people. I guess they're more cat-like because they have the pointy ears and they have tails. And that's one of the central conflicts of the game, where you have the Raidens, which are what these people are, and then the humans, who they call Arasians, who live in their own village. And you see the difference in that they worship the god Alba and are in tune with nature. They have wooden huts, as opposed to the Arasians, who have more stone structures and more well-built homes and buildings and things like that. So there's a bit of conflict there. What I found so interesting about this game is every single character, even the minor NPCs, have character portraits. Now, the more important characters like Isha, Olha, Dogi, they have more varied portraits in that they'll be frowning, they'll be smiling, blushing, crying, etc. But the other NPCs just have their standard character portraits. And this is something that people have told me about the Falcom games, how they sort of reuse ideas, whether it's names or character designs. I noticed 3 character names that appear in the Trail series, and those 3 names were Kevin, Lloyd, and there was even a little pink-haired girl named Noi from Nayuta. And I gotta say, man, the combat of this game reminded me so much of Nayuta. When people say Nayuta's connected to the Trail series, I would say it's more connected and influenced by the East series. But there's lots of different locations to explore, from forests to ruins to beaches to mountains. So like East 1, you just had, the shrines and stuff like that, and caves. And then East 2, you had the snow location, the fire, the sewers. This game has more locations with lost ruins and stuff like that. And lots of good stuff. So let's start with some of the screenshots. Of course, our good buddy Al Kristen washes up on the shore. And they're like, what's he doing here? He's an Eurasian. Which they also use words like Africa. It's not Africa, it's Afroka. There's an O instead of an I. And Rome. They call it like the Roman, and instead of an A, it's a U. So East is based on Europe, and I think East is actually a real place. Is it a real place in Africa? I think it is. But you see like the different character portraits. There's Olha right there, and again, you see there how it just shows her portrait there, and then her entire character model. There's an anime opening where it shows all the main characters. The music in this game is fantastic. East is known for its heavy metal and rock and all that stuff, but there's lots of peaceful themes as well. The ruins have a nice calm tone to them. So there's Adol with Dogi, gets shipwrecked again. There's this dude who shows up, Geis. What a badass. Geis becomes the best bro. Absolutely loved him. You actually fight him at this part in the game, and then later on he helps you. He's in the anime opening as well. Dogi makes his signature appearance where he busts open the wall. In the first game, he breaks Adol out of prison. In this case, you reach a dead end right there where you see the pathway is, and you can't go any further, so you turn around, and all of a sudden you hear the banging on the wall, and Dogi busts it open, the wall crusher himself. Here's a badass moment with Geist where you defeat like this giant frog monster, and he shows up, and he this is right before he knocks the guy to the left down. He's like, I got no use for you anymore. Such a badass moment right there. Okay, I mentioned before how there's character names like Kevin, Lloyd, and Noi, which appear in the Trail series. Well, the main villain of this game, Ernest, is a blatant riff-off of our friend Arios McLeod. And I'm going to show you this screenshot right here. You be the judge of it. Look at this guy. Is that Arios' long-lost brother or what? Look at him. He's got the hair. Okay, that much is certain. But even the coat, the red and blue coat. I mean, it's Arios McLeod. What is he doing there? And is this the line right here? Yeah, Dogi says it himself. The name's Dogi the Wall Crusher. Want to get your walls crushed? But excellent game. Absolutely loved it. I think the main point of contention here is the platforming, which there's one instance in the Ruins of Lost Time where you need to perfect dash jumping, and the tutorial in the game doesn't explain it very well. It says something like you need to do the lunge attack and then jump at the same time, which the way it's explained just doesn't work properly. And I had to look up a guide to figure it out. There's some YouTube videos and also game facts explaining it. And the way to do it is to tap the direction you want to go and then press jump and attack at the same time. That's how you do it. The game doesn't explain it right. And looking up how to do it with game facts and the YouTube videos, everyone's bitching and moaning about it, but dash jumping is actually quite simple once you figure it out. I just have to say, maybe I should do my own video explaining it properly while giving commentary, because the videos is just the guy doing it, and then commenters explaining it. You kind of just figure it out. But yeah, there's the anime opening. Dude, that's Arios versus Lloyd from Trails to Azure. What's going on there? That's the end of the game right there. Beautiful. There's a bunch of anime. This is from the anime opening. But throughout the game, as major events happen, there's also anime cutscenes, like when the Ark appears. So cool. The game's beautiful. There's Chief Ord. And the game ends how it all began. After Adol saves the world, there's the mirror next to him. He washes up on the shore again. And that's when Adol says goodbye. Isha and Olha are waving goodbye to him. And you see the game, like I said, constantly changes from, you know, the pixel sprites to the anime art. And there's Adol waving goodbye for his next adventure. And what a charming game. Absolutely loved it. It's actually, aside from figuring out dash jumping and the trial and error against boss fights, it's quite easy. Because the dungeons aren't as maze-like as they were in East 1 and 2. East 2 was worse than East 1 as far as the maze-like dungeons go. In this case, there are dead ends, but you have to go there to get the treasure you need to advance in the story, whether it's a new weapon, or item, or accessory, or whatever. You find the item, and then progress to the end of the dungeon. You fight a boss. You're going to die at least once against every boss, but luckily, you keep retrying it, and you learn the patterns. It is what it is. I played the game on normal difficulty. Good luck playing it on hard difficulty. I should also mention, too, as far as magic goes, because that was the thing that East 2 added from East 1, the ability to use magic. Magic returns in this game, but it's relegated to your sword, and you unlock 3 different swords throughout your adventure. The Wind Sword, the Fire Sword, and the Thunder Sword. And with each of them, you can perform new attacks, use them to solve puzzles, and fight enemies, exploit their weaknesses. And you collect money, of course, and Emil to forge the blades. So, lots of cool stuff right there. As far as grinding goes, you don't really need to grind. I was level grinding just to get money to buy the better equipment and stuff like that. But you should be fine. Just fight every enemy in your path, and as long as you fight on normal. Maybe if you fight on hard, you need to spend more time grinding, but I didn't really have any issue with it. I loved the game. Looking online, it seems like, you know, this is a lot of people's least favorite. And this is what's known as the Ark of Napishtim engine. So, after this one is Oath and Felghana, and then Origin. And they all use the same engine in that it has, like, let me see if I can show you again. Like, you know, the pixel type art style. It looks like that. It's got the platforming and puzzles. And then as I get to the later games, it'll be more 3D, you know, like East 8 and 9 and 10, right? So it'll be interesting to see that. I'm curious to see what they're going to improve upon in the Oath and Felghana, which is the next game I'm going to play. And looking forward to continuing my East adventures. So let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. Like I said, I love this game. It's also worth noting, too, that the East games are all relatively short. I mean, East 1 took me probably 4 hours. East 2, 8 hours. This game, probably 10 or 12 hours. So, I wonder if and when the games are going to get longer. I'm so used to playing 100-hour games of the Trail series that it's weird to beat a game in a couple days now, as opposed to spending an entire month on it. But that's fine. It's a nice change in pace. And maybe this is a hot take, but I'm just going to say it. Because I played a lot of Zelda games back in the day. haven't really played them in years because I don't like Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. But Ys is basically a more niche, better version of The Legend of Zelda. In that it's the same concept. You go to dungeons, you find treasures, you get item to progress in the dungeon, fight the bosses, etc., etc. It's better in almost every regard. From the characters, music, puzzles, story. It's got the same silent protagonist, adult Kristen versus Link. I'm sorry, after playing 3 Ys games, it's just a fact. Ys is the better version of The Legend of Zelda. And with that, I'm going to end this video. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Stay tuned for my next Ys review, which is going to be the Oath in Felghana. And I might as well just tell you right now, since we're on it, maybe I'll stop repeating myself after this. But after playing Ys 1 and 2, of course, I played Ys 6. Next is the Oath in Felghana, followed by Ys Origin, then Ys 7, then Ys Memories of Celceta, which is, again, the remake of 4, then Ys 8, Lacrimoso of Dana, then Ys 9, Monstrum Nox, and then Ys 10, Nordics. So, there you have it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk to you later. Peace out.
Nighty night.